Welcome everyone, welcome to the channel, welcome to a new video. I am the Lonely Walker and today we're gonna play Back to the 6 Void. Is the version 0.99, so basically is the most updated version. Basically is the one which is probably gonna be released. The late pledgers and the backers for the Kickstarter we receive this copy just to have a look, to play, to see how it is. And if we spot any mistakes, any errors, we can just message directly Toby Lancaster, which is the creator, by the way, Mr. Toby Lancaster of this game. Also the game 2d6 Dungeon, which you have in the channel a few gameplays because it's one of my favorites. I have a physical copy I print back in the day, but it was like 0.7, so you have only one level of the dark hole. I think this is a dark hole. I'm not sure. Well, the dungeon, the spaceship, whatever it is, dark hole, I think it is. Anyway, long story short, this is the almost the 1.0 version, the ones you will be able to buy, the one we actually have at the moment. I have these empty cards you can print, so we can just put the details of the creature we're gonna face. But yeah, it's a game I'm very excited to have a look. I'm very excited to play because, as I say, big fan of 2d6 Dungeon, and 2d6 Dungeon on the space is something actually excites me quite heavily. So let's have a look. Toby Lancaster presents a solo-player sci-fi dungeon crawler, core rules and table. 2d6 Void. Core rules and tables, road and write, print and play solo-player sci-fi dungeon crawler. Written and designed by Toby Lancaster, cover and illustration by Jake Abington, and a few proofreader, playtesters, etc. Let's go to the end. Let's see what it says. Your home wall is burning. A massive alien spaceship, some call Dark Hulk. Hulk, don't know you pronounce the K at the end that strongly. Appear in orbit around the planet and proceeded to besiege the major cities. A deadly storm of ballistics, followed by a barrage of energy weapons, brought the peaceful world to its knees. It seemed hopeless, until a scout ship spotted a weakness in the dark hull seals. When the Goliath fired its main energy weapons, a narrow gap briefly appears in the seal matrix at the top of the ship. A good pilot in a fast, small ship could slip through and land on the hull. There they could gain access and place explosives in the engine room to bring down the ship and save Coradine. Coradine is the wall of 2d6 Dungeon, by the way, Coradine. With the military devastated, the Interplanetary Alliance has turned to civilian pilots such as fighter captains, space police officers, and bounty hunters who fancy that they might have a chance of saving Coradine. You are one of these few who has stepped forward. I mean, the main plot is basically Star Wars. I don't want to do spoilers, but it's very Star Wars, which is fine. I love Star Wars, so why not? It's 221 pages, but basically is the reflect of the light is quite heavy, which is not bright, but it is what it is, I guess. I got this from 2d6 Dungeon. It will help us. I don't think we're gonna play today. We probably just gonna have a quick look, maybe create a character. But yeah, 221 pages, including obviously the cards, the tables, and all the stuff. Introduction. 2d6 Void is a standalone game, so you don't need 2d6 Dungeon basically. It uses much of the 2d6 dungeon framework, such as map generation and the shift mechanic. That's why I have here the dice, which are not very sci-fi, sorry, but well, they are the 2d6 dungeon dice, so it is what it is. Anyway, and the shift mechanic for combat for a science fiction environment that is a future version of Coradine. Comparisons with 2d6 Dungeon, the original game, the 2d6 universe, which focus on dungeon exploration, will be made through the rules so as to give context. What you need to play, basically these core rules, 2d6 color dice, a pencil, which in my case is a pen, the grid, the map to draw the maps, the quick reference combat cards. Well, I don't have that. I do, but I don't know what are they at the moment, so I don't have them. We do this system, as I say, the system with we put the details and use it like that. The rest of the cards and tables are at the back of this book for reference. Setting. 2d6 Void is set in a modern day, future Coradine, the setting from 2d6 Dungeon. The world has been largely at peace for many centuries since the legendary dungeon was defeated. Your planet faced destruction. Coradine is burning. A massive alien spaceship, some called the Dark Hole, appeared in orbit around the planet and proceeded to visit the major cities. A deadly storm ballistic. This is what we did right. Read, sorry. Yep. Okay, level of technology. The technology levels are slightly more advanced than they are on Earth in 2026. Off-world bases and mining colonies have been set up on the two small and lifeless moons of Coradine, Orline and Thania. Orline has a thin atmosphere with a deep ocean beneath an icy crust, and Thania is a barren rock covered in valuable minerals. Each colony has claimed independence and established its own government. Space merchants have started trading between these worlds, selling minerals and metals outside the intersystem contract and taxes. A dangerous and illegal underground economy has emerged. A space police force has been established to help protect the mineral freighters and independent space merchants and investigate intersystem crimes. Independent security forces, often solo entrepreneurs known as bounty hunters, are sometimes sent to the trail of the ever-elusive Pans Pirates of the AP. Economy. It has been centuries since the population of Coradine used gold, silver, and copper coinage. Now the universal currency is credits. Not very original, but I don't mind. It's fine. Credits. I have credits from the 100 space, so I might just use the physical credits things, just to keep track, just to make it more interesting and fun to watch. But you will not find any of those on the Dark Hole in space. Instead, treasure now lists under cache, given a monetary value. Alien artifacts that can be salvaged potentially have a high value. In this way, you will collect some small rewards for saving humanity as you make your way through the ship. Side quests. Although the core aim of the game is to reach the engine room, gather loot, sparing points, and to achieve hero status, there are small narrative quests that can be picked up while exploring. These are sometimes objects or pieces of information which can be noted in the side quest section of the character sheet. The function described in the test and once complete can be crossed off. You may have a couple of quests running at the same time, or not at all. Each quest will have very specific requirements you will need to look out for your venture in the hole. You win. You gain 50 experience points per character level for each side quest complete. 10 levels, same than 2d6 dungeon, and then probably Toby Lancaster in the future will release a legendary 2d6 void, or I don't know, or hero 2d6 void, something like that. To go after you've completed the original 10 levels, you go to that one. Same with 2d6 dungeon. The dice, type of rolls, this is basically basic stuff. which obviously you never play, then you need to read it, but you can familiarize with RPGs or role playing games. You know why everything is written here. You know very well. Primary and secondary dice. Primary will be blue and secondary will be yellow, because that's important for the combat. Quantity on things. When you find this in the game, you might know specific exact quantity. It says a few, some or parts. It means one use or one dose of that item. Creating your character. As the adventure, this is one of the important bits. As the adventure, you will have a number of stats and abilities. These are recorded in your character sheet, which consists of 4 separate pages. Print out a blank version from the back of the book over here. First, add a character name and then choose your profession. Okay, the character name. We're gonna call him. I don't know. What can we call him? Actually, let me see something, because you're not seeing and looking on Facebook. Let me get my keyboard, because I remember Toby. Let's say you're not seeing what I'm doing, but Toby released a few, if I'm not wrong, a few tables with names. There you go, name generator table. Okay, so as I say, okay, so we're gonna roll for names. You didn't see, because for you it's gonna be a matter of seconds, maybe a split second, but I have to leave for a bit, few hours. So I've been away for a few hours, and now I'm back, and now I actually prepare this so we can see the names. As I say, blue first, and 65 o 65. 65 puede ser Vex o Wex. Wes. We're gonna say Wes. Wes 53. Wes Rafe. Science fiction, así que. Luego de apodo, otra vez, 65. Wick. 61. Wickas. Wicton. Un nombre muy raro, la verdad. Wes Rafe Wickton. But hey, it's science fiction, so why not, right? Why not? Okay, so that's out of the way. Now, we're back to the game. If I must. Nah, that correct. Okay, so we got the character name. Where were we? We were here. So basically, Mr. Westgrave Wickton is to play into the end. They will see that there's still health points, experience, and safe. Your name, and then choose a profession. Deep down, you know you have the adventurer spirit, and your family lore proudly speak of such character as distant relatives. But with the modern age of Coradine, the demands of society means you must have a profession. You can be a freighter captain, a space police officer, or bounty hunter. I don't know what is actually more attractive to me, if I'm honest. Hmm. Each of these professions require high level of piloting skills, which is the main reason why you have stepped forward to help and become a hero. Select one of the professions on the following pages. Special skills, as a special skill. Based upon the training or experience, this is not with the profession profiles below. Write in the special skill on your character sheet, which is, I don't know. Special skills, no. Where's my special skills? Do I have special skills? Do I? Doesn't look like. I mean, I'm sure there is somewhere. Special skills. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep moving because I can't see anything. Profession-specific crafting. Each profession can craft 3 specific items which are unique. This can be seen in the profession-specific crafting table on page 62. All specially crafted items can only be used once, and then they and the items used to craft them are damaged and have no further use. This included inner materials such as metals. They cannot be salvaged. Items can be constructed when out of combat at any point as long as you have the correct ingredients. Skills into this volume, 2 main skills are technical and coding. Yeah. Okay. The first represents how good you are with physical hardware and technology, and the second represents your coding and ciphering skills. You start with 3 in both skills. So technical 3, coding 3. Cool. There will be opportunities in-game to increase these skills, specific task experience on page 27. So what are we gonna be? That's a good question. I'm not sure what is the marksmanship. Marksmanship. Okay, space police officer, defining now bounty hunter or pilot. Bounty hunter or pilot. 1, 2, 3 pilot. 4, 5, 6 bounty hunter. Bounty hunter it is. Okay, bounty hunter. We're gonna put it already here. Bounty hunter. Cool. These self-funded mercenaries often see themselves as above the law and work for the highest price. They are trained killers who have picked up a range of skills to track down and eliminate their targets. They often live on space stations where they can be first to pick up. I don't know if it's missing a there. Where they can be first to pick up these valuable contracts issued by inter-system conglomerates. I don't know, maybe. I don't know where to put the special things though. So to level up is 100. We are level 1. We have maneuvers, we have pieces, we have damage, ranged weapons. I can't really see. Okay. When you're stunned, reduce the stun value by 1. So a stun 5 status will become stun 4 instead. They reflect the fact you recover more quickly. Title is a pursuer, perseguidor. Total shift 2. Let's sure. I need to pick up my guns and my weapon, no? Technical mod 0, 0, 10. Okay. That's done. Skill mods, including on the profession label, there's a skill mod column, either technical mod or coding mod, and a modifier is listed. And this is to add this to the current skill when you move up the level. For the moment, here's nothing. Skill checks at points, you will be asked to make a check against your technical or coding skills. For example, the test entry will read, make a -3 to coding check. Roll 2d6 and subtract 3. If you roll equal to or under that skill, then you pass the check and succeed. A subtract modifier means the task is easier, cruder, less tricky, and a plus modifier means the task is more challenging. There is a 0 listed before the skill check, then simply roll 2d6. The number in the brackets indicates how many times you can try. Okay, I was going to ask that actually. The test will then describe what happens. Marksmanship, okay. 6. One question, answer. I don't know where to put my special ability though. Biological enhancements, request small rations. I don't really have anything, do I? Special skill. God bless me. I'm blind. Pass recovery. Basically says reduce stam by 1. Meaning when I 1 at 0? No, it can't be. Because I'll have to have 1 eventually. Otherwise, I can never get a stun. Maybe specify that a bit better. You know, like because it says here when you are 5, your status stun becomes 4. But maybe specify like the first time you get a stun, you actually get it. You know, just in case. All characters start with 6 marksmanship, representing that you have some experience with ranged weapons, and these 2 characters in maneuvers. Now you need to select a weapon. Choose either Ion Baton, Electro Hammer, or Plasma Katar. And write this in your weapon box. The high tech, weapons maneuver, table 1. Okay, we're gonna choose Plasma Katar. I don't know why, but it sounds good. I don't even know what it is. Plasma Katar. Okay. Let's choose the maneuvers. And we can go back. I'm gonna order the Spirebound on this. I already ordered the Spirebound of D6 to the 6th dungeon actually. Because I have the paperbacks and to play. And if I want to play online and not like to make videos, I think it's much better. Okay. Is this the one? Yes. Qatar. The thing is actually, can I turn? Yes. I think now you can see properly. You cannot see properly. Okay. So let's do this for the time being. There you go. Cool. Now you see. We're gonna choose. Let's make it a bit bigger. We're gonna choose 3 to. No, not Electro Hammer, sorry. Plasma Katar. 3 to burning stuff. Burning stab. Which is 3 2. Is D6 plus 1. And then we're gonna do a small number. We can do 2 3 or 1 2. La jugamos a 1 2. 2 4 would be good. But let's do 2 4. Plasma rip. A bit a scary card, to be fair. But It is what it is. 2, 4. D6 minus 1. Okay. So now, can do this. We can do this. Can make it smaller. So you can all see perfectly again. And now we go back. We have almost done our bounty hunter for sure. There's not much left. There are armor pieces and a bit more. So each weapon uses some form of energy to deal more damage. Pick up 2 starting maneuvers to use during combat from the level 1 maneuvers to your chosen weapon, and add this to the maneuver section of your character sheet. You will see that there is a 2 dice combination, blah blah blah. So basically the same the 2d6 dungeon. Armor. Next, you can select 1 piece of armor from the starting armor table below, where it's write it in the armor section along with its dice set and modifier. The modifier is the number you may able to subtract from any damage you take during a round of combat. You can wear any combination of armor to a maximum of 3 pieces, but not duplicate pieces of item that cover the same part of the body, such as items that feature the same words like pairs of gloves, helmets, jackets, overalls, suits, or plates. Always like to do 4, not sure why. So we're gonna choose composite best, which is 4. This is minus 1 damage. Cool. For any dice in the dice set, either primary, secondary, or both that are studded yellow, put a box or cycle around the number of your character sheet. All starting ammo has a yellow die. This is used in range combat. Okay, I don't know if I understand this correctly. Can I highlight this? Yes. I need to go back to there, I think. Starting equipment. So this is in the smallest things. We got a flashlight. Small items. How do I know it's a small items on what? Adding artifacts, medical stints. I don't have any medical stints so far. I'm gonna say flashlight a small item. Flashlight. We had 2 rations and 2 boxes, 2 rations. Steam dock. I'm gonna say everything is small. You know the size of the Steam dock. Sample scanner. What else? Hacking consoles, the HC-5. Hacking console, HC-5. Wrench. There's a lot of stuff, eh? Jesus Christ. Crowbar. More than 2d6 for sure. Portable 3D printer. Yeah. 2 plastic pockets. Ammo tent. And a backpack, which I'm not gonna put it because I assume we have a backpack, so it's there. For carrying all your loot and items, you also start with a medical sting, which is here. Medical sting, we can restore plus 10 HP, which is basically a potion. Or good old potion. We can restore 10 HP. You can carry up to 5 stings as each of one requires its own injector. You also start with a C12 pistol. Okay, that goes here. C12 pistol. Cool. Write 1 on the level box on the top of the sheet and 0 in the XP box. Not necessarily. You are an experienced level 1 character and will gain experience as you kill creatures and perform skill actions. Starting equipment cannot be lost and does not count when you're checking to see what random item you may have damaged. They do not count as large. Okay, so the doubt of where to put them is being solved. When you have selected profession, fill in your character sheet. Leveling up. You will level up while exploring in-game, representing the fact that your experience are honing your skills. When this happens, you instantly increase your HP baseline and add the difference between your old and new levels to your current HP. Okay. I'm going to highlight that as well. You now have a new baseline HP total as indicated by your profession table. Your other stat might also increase based on your levels table above, and you may gain a maneuver. If you level up during combat, adjust the stat instantly during the fight, if a surge of energy passes through you. Every time you pass a level, you can, if you so desire, swap out one of your maneuvers for another under your weapon list. Each maneuver has a level rating, and if your character must maneuver level does not match this, they cannot choose the maneuver and must settle for a lower level 1. Capacity, we can carry 10, which is already limited by the character sheet anyway. The no restriction the amount treasure of small items you cannot carry, but you can only carry up to 10 large or heavy items. These are stored in or on your backpack, attached to straps or clips. Large items include all armor not being worn, rocks, heavy metal objects, large tools, and volumes of liquid which need some form of container. Your backpack doesn't count, as it is the container. Apply common sense to this rule. Okay. 3 stints and 3 guns, which is basically, as I say, it's already there. Health points, you start with a baseline of 10 health points. Each time you level up, you increase your baseline. You do this the minute you have enough SP. Okay. Death. If your health points are reduced to 0, you fall unconscious. If you are fighting an enemy, they finish you off, and it is the end of your adventure. And it is the end of your adventure. If you are reduced to 0 or below by any other means, such as poison or starvation, you must roll an RFUT1 in the table matrix and follow what it says there into the dark hole. 2d6 void naturally revolves around your adventures in the dark hole, which go from level 1 to 10, and specific side quests. See more of this later. You have penetrated the hull of the large ship and start on level 1. The dark hole levels are well illuminated via various colorful means. I need to have a break. In Table Matrix, at the beginning of each level, there is a short piece of text describing what might lay ahead. Make sure you read this before you enter the level. These tests sometimes also include new rules, which might be specific to the level or be a standard ruling from what level onwards. They also reveal the size of the entrance room and whether there is anything else. Okay, and now we go to generating basically the dungeon, the hole. Okay, is a big chunky. We have the kind of rule doors, which I wrote them there. This right there, that's important because it's quite, you use it quite a lot or quite often. Generating the dark hole rooms. You drop down through the hole into the first room. You will generate dark hole rooms as you encounter them. Read all the following rules before beginning to create the levels. If you know how to generate rooms from the 2d6 dungeon, is basically the same but has a few tweaks. Okay, so we got this. Bam. For the first level, set a square at the base of the grid. Gonna do this. And draw in 2 verticals with opening at the top, connecting the 4 dots. This is the entrance of the dark hole. Okay, read the intro test for the level. This will give you the dimension for the entrance room, which is the only room you do not roll for. This test can be found in the table sections. Okay. When rolling for the dimension for other rooms, roll D66, X, and Y. That's why I haven't special die, so I don't get confused, plus the number of doors. Cool. Chamfer corners. Okay. This is the different thing. Instead of just square rooms, we do actually put it a bit in a weird position, no? It's more like here. Yeah, I think so. Chamfer corner. So basically to have this kind of science fiction vibe, science fiction looking, you do these chamfer corners. That's it. When you roll a double, the same. So basically you roll again. Only can roll 2 doubles maximum. Small rooms is 6 or square less, and big rooms 32 squares or more. Corridors, basically, there is still no encounters in corridors, I believe. No. Yeah, corridors is just corridors, I said. Stuff in the corner of the corridors as well. Okay, horizontal positions, you're okay. Placing exits. Same thing. So basically, if you do a square, let's say you put a square, but you have 3 entries, would be one side, and one side. Can't be in the same size. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it's basically like that. Clarify the first room, never encounter the room. For first room only, at the moment there's 3 exits in the first room. So when you do the thing, boom, you put the extra square for the exit. No, part of the room. Okay. And the square rectangular, the same thing with the 2d6 dungeon. In the last room, you basically put the ladder down. Room contents, you need to roll on the tables. Same with the special unique rules. Checking doors, as I say, it will be in the description what kind of door, and then to roll is it open or close. You roll, and you do 6. If you roll a 6, then everything is locked. Not the archway, obviously. Lock size sliding doors. This I'm gonna highlight it. Well, I was way confused. Tracking back. You might find a situation where you have to or choose to go back the way you came. You can return to any previously from rooms if the path is clear where there will be bodies of the enemies already slain. You will encounter no more aliens in this room that can travel freely along the route, but only on the same level. You cannot go up levels or use backtracking as a means of leaving the dark hole. Any new rooms you enter must be encountered as normal. You must count the rooms you backtrack if you are bloodied or stunned and apply their appropriate effects. If you reach a point where you can go no further than less than 50% of the level generated, I would say has been generated. If you reach a point where you can go no further than less than 50% of the level has been generated, I'm gonna I think it's better. Do not add the ladder down. Instead, select the room with the empty space around it and add a secret panel door exit level with X and generate the new room as normal. You cannot use a secret panel door to backtrack to previous room. The door itself is the only way. Going a level down using rations. Between levels, you must add the ladder exit square to either ration and build your strength for the fight ahead. If you have no rations or choose not to eat, you feel drained and lose half of your current health, up to 20 HP. Jesus Christ. You have 2 parts of a ration. You can make do and only lose a quarter of your HP. Per rations of your characters do not count as items being carried. Yeah, it has its own thing, so it's okay. Rest in between levels. You also recover some health points. Recover 2 per character. You have a bandage, additional HP. Enters to the next level. Okay. Rune creation. You roll the d6, the exits, boom, 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 and do the tables. Easy. Invented usage the same than before. While you explore the hole, you will read tests and describe the runes and encounters. At times, they will include objects and features which theoretically can be interacted with. For example, a metal tray on the table or a pipe up a wall. Even though the test does not prompt interaction, you can add if you wish. This is called inventive usage and is an imaginative form of roleplay that allows you freedom to improvise. However, there are some guidelines that should be followed, as outlined below. Use your common sense, basically. Making sound. If the embedded suggestion you make no check the patrols, containers, fixing things, making actions. You can make this as code, specific task experience, fix machine. Okay, that might be important because it's actually a section in here. I need to check my gun later, actually. So, there are several ways of increasing technical and coding skills other than leveling up. There are specific tasks that, if complete, allow you to gain 1 point of the skill. These boxes are ticked off in the specific task experience section of your character sheet. When you complete 4 boxes for one task, you gain a point of the skill reference in the row. That includes fix machine, blah, 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 explains everything. Some of these will involve a skill check, so the test will provide the opportunity. Skill caps, you can deep moments, combat, easy peasy, range combat. In 2d6 void, there is a range combat as well as hand-to-hand. This takes the form of an additional roll for you and the alien if it has a ranged weapon before the main combat happens. Okay. Other hull. There cannot be ranged combat in runes that butt up against the other hull unless there is a in the next blah blah blah. Name indicating it has reinforced walls. If the hull is pierced, then the rune will despressurize and kill everything in it. Other exceptions: if the alien in your ranged weapon has an asterisk next to the weapon name, it can be firing runes that pad up to the half boundary. Shooting. You shoot. You can also throw an item. You always roll to shoot first unless otherwise stated. Roll 2d6 for your roll shot. And then up if it's equal to or lower than your marksmanship. Okay. Then you have hit your opponent. So you roll this, for instance, 10. No way. I miss. But they'll roll. If I roll. If I roll. 1 second, I'm thinking. If I roll a 5, then I hit. When checking the alien interrupts, make a deflection roll by rolling d66. If any of the numbers are red and box of the alien interrupt. Okay. Well, we need to play and see what happens. It's the same thing. Most of the things the same than 2d6 dungeon, but it's a few more stuff. The range weapons and stuff. Need to see how it plays. For instance, here the C12 piece pistol, 12 rounds. 12 rounds of what it is. caseless block. Okay. And then damage is D6 and settings single. So can only shoot once. A compact, low recoil sidearm built around solid propellant blocks instead of brass casings. It fires smoothly and resists jamming, making it dependable in harsh environment. Roll a d6. Your shot roll is a double. Yes. Okay, bloody, crossing the difficult level, more checks, some numbers, the combo 10. Becoming a hero. And now from the designer, how you enjoy your venture. The original D6 Dungeon game engine is inspired by many things that include the Warlock Fireton Mountain, blah blah blah. Hero Quest, Talisman, Star Wars clearly, but yeah, I mean, I love Star Wars, so it's a good thing. I also wanted to create a game that presented many random but controlled experiences, so you could go back and have a wholly new adventure each time and keep coming back for more and not become bored. The narrative grows and expands so that afterwards you can relive that story and the pleasure you had making it. Finally, this project would not have been possible without all the amazing backers and supporters. I'm one of them. Many of whom have contributed to its creation. Special thanks to go to Jeff and Mark, who are often in the front lines. Thank you, Toby. Okay, so yes, pretty much we need to play because there's just a few things. I'm very excited for this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am actually very excited for this game. I am. I literally, yeah, I'm down. So, I mean, I love 2D6 Dungeon, but the dungeon crawler, there's so many dungeon crawlers, if that makes sense, and something in the universe and the mechanics of 2D6 Dungeon in space is something I'm completely down, up my alley, and yeah, I mean, 100%. 100%. I need to organize this with the usual clips and stuff to go quick because there is no bookmarks in here. Obviously, it's not even the 1.0 version, so understandable. But right now it's a bit difficult to go for it. Because look at the amount of tables this thing has. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. The only thing I want to see is the level 1. Here we go. Level 1, the system deck. Name the system deck. The system deck. Level 1. Date don't matter, I guess. You manage to land your ship on the hull at the provided coordinates. Minutes later, you are out in 0G, clanging to metal while you wore the security pad. The code you were giving was, and the hatch slides open. You swing into the airlock, and the doors automatically close behind you. You then strip away your helmet and spot the service ladder, which you tie me down and find yourself in a 4-2 room. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. One, two, three, four, four, two. So 8, 4, 6, 8, yeah. With 3 exits, 1, 2, and 3 exits, which all of them are archways because it's the first one. And that's the same episode. With 3 exits, you have been told this is some kind of system level where workers' drones have been spotted. Used Intel has also informed you how to recognize which rooms have reinforced walls, so you may fire in them even if up against the hull. So you can technically fire your gun everywhere here. That's what I understand. there is no limitation in that matter in this level. So the things saying you cannot shoot in certain rooms against the walls doesn't apply here. Attached to the wall here is a flash left by a previous volunteer. You unscrew it and see is a strong tea with a bill grind adaptive. Using this, you will heal 5 HP. Aim to level and so what is ahead. So we're gonna get tea, bill grind tea plus 5 HP. Okay, lovely. Done. So now let's run. Let's run now. Less small runs, normal runs. Archer. Let's roll the first one. Blue first. 1 free. I'm gonna do the same. 1 second, people. Don't collapse mentally. There you go. 1 free. That's a parts. I know, but what? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. 2 for free. We go this way. 1, 2, 3. How many exits? 1. For 2. So 1 exit there. And like this. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we say 1 free, which is Parks Workshop. 1 free. And what is this, you wonder? There are several machines parts stuck in a crate here. Cables and wire hang on one wall. I mean, I'm not an artist, as you can tell. A cyclops drone sorts the parts. When it sees you, it attacks. If you survive, roll on AIUT1. Sliding doors, which are the usual simple ones. Sliding doors like this. So we fighting a drone. Which is the drone? Level 1 be simple drone. What did he say? What kind of drone it was? This drone's here. Oh, I didn't even remember that. That's why you need here. Yeah, it's gonna be here. So withdraw 1 free Cyclops drum. So Cyclops drum. Now we won. Is this unique? No. The roll in EUT1. It looked like Hoover. So 4 HP, XP 5, Sif +1, roll metal, body, primary 5, which I don't have, and 6 secondary, -1 damage. And his maneuver is free, pose, slash, d6 -2. And range, laser beam, 5. d6 -3. The chunky drones travel around the level, cleaning and sucking up debris, which could cause transit issues. They also have a finite laser they use for minor metal repairs. Cool. So there we go. We're gonna leave it here before the first fight because I want to study a bit better the ranged weapon, the ranged attack, how that would have all that work. Okay. Like get a bit far from the light. So yeah, let me actually technically I could maybe do this. A bit dark though. Let me put it very low like this. Okay, so yeah, before the first attack, we roll for the first rune, and as you could see, it's very similar than to the 6th dungeon. We went through the rules a bit rushing, but it's basically don't know what it was. Rush through the rules, but they are very similar than to the 6th dungeon. So yeah, it's kind of the same game with some adjustments, some bits and bobs in there that different. This ranged weapon, the aesthetic, and yeah, it's just more to the 6th dungeon, which is for me is enough to get me in. We're already in anyway, and yeah, I'm really down for this. I am very excited to get the books and to start playing properly. Doesn't mean I'm not playing properly now, but you know, I PDF wise, and if I want to record the video and stuff, I prefer to have the book. Keep reading it, keep going for it. Have the I don't know how you call it, the stickers to know where to go. Have the cards, not to write down the enemies in there. So yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited. We will continue playing. This was just the first look at the game to create a character and then go for the first run and see the dynamic of the games and how it was. It was the same than 2D6 Dungeon, and I'm sold on this. Thanks, Toby, to send to the backers quickly the game, and hopefully all of you enjoy the video, so you can subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and yeah, see you soon, and hopefully you can buy this game, support Toby, and enjoy 2D6 Void. See ya!